All right, welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're jumping right into a really common, and I mean really common, misconception about a skill that's basically everywhere now, programming. And here's the thing, what most of us think it's all about, it's pretty much completely wrong.
So, let's just start with a basic question. What does it really take to be a programmer? Now, you probably think you have a good answer for this, right? But just hang on. Because what we're about to unpack from our source material here, well, it could genuinely flip your whole perspective on its head.
You know, the popular idea, the one you hear all the time, is that programming is basically a knowledge contest. It's how many languages are on your resume, Python, Java, C++, how many tools you can use, what algorithms you've got memorized, but the source we're diving into today says, nope, that's not just a little bit wrong, it's missing the entire point.
Okay, so let's get into it. Let's just bust this knowledge myth right open. The actual ability to program, it has almost nothing to do with all the facts you can cram into your head. And our source lays this out so clearly. Just knowing a programming language, knowing all the facts about it, that doesn't mean you can program. It's like you could read every single book ever written about Python, but that doesn't make you a Python programmer. Any more than reading 100 cookbooks makes you a chef, right? You actually have to cook.
Okay, so if it's not about knowledge, then what is it? What's the real challenge here? The thing that actually stops most people from being able to sit down and write working code. And the answer our source gives is, well, it's brutally honest. The reason it's so tough isn't that you have to be some kind of genius. It's because, and I'm quoting here, it is a tedious grind. Yeah, it's a grind. It's slow, it's meticulous, and honestly, it takes a certain kind of mental toughness.
And this grind, it's not about being the smartest person in the room. It's about endurance. It's about being able to just think about a problem relentlessly. And I mean obsessively managing every tiny little detail. Because, one misplaced semicolon, one comma, and the whole thing just falls apart. It's about being able to stay focused for a long time. And maybe the most important part, just having the patience to stick with it until it's finally working.
So to really make this idea click, to take it from this abstract concept to something we can really get our heads around, the source gives us this brilliant analogy. It really shows the difference between knowing something and actually doing it.
It's this thing called a Chie-no-wa, a puzzle ring. You've probably seen something like it. The whole point is to get these two interlocked pieces of metal apart. And when you first look at it, it seems totally impossible. But there is a way. There's a very specific, kind of tricky sequence of moves that unlocks it.
And this is where we see that crucial difference. Okay, so imagine someone just shows you how to do it. They walk you through the steps, they separate the rings, and you're like, oh, okay, I get it. You understand the logic. But does that mean you now have the skill to solve it yourself? Of course not. The real skill, the valuable part, is the process of figuring it out on your own. All the twisting and turning, the trial and error, the thinking.
And that right there, that's the absolute heart of the argument. Understanding an answer after someone gives it to you, that's not the skill. The skill is the messy part, the frustrating part, the part where you almost give up, but then you have a breakthrough. That's the creative process of finding the answer for yourself.
So how does this all tie back to programming? Well, this whole puzzle thing, it's a perfect parallel for what pretty much everyone goes through when they're trying to learn to code. I mean, think about it. We've all been there. You watch some amazing tutorial on YouTube. The person on screen is coding, explaining everything, and it all makes perfect sense. You're following along, nodding your head, you get that little rush of confidence, like, yes, I totally get this, I can do this. And then you open up a blank editor to try and do it yourself from scratch. And crickets. Nothing. Your mind goes blank. That is the illusion of understanding. It's the exact same thing as the puzzle ring. So the real takeaway here, the big one, is that the skill of programming is the ability to create that program from your own mind. It's you
a blank screen and that tedious grind we talked about, the grind of thinking and solving problems until something that works appears out of nowhere. And if you think about it, that completely changes how you should even approach learning to code. It means progress isn't about how many tutorials you've watched, it's about how many things you've actually built.
And all of this brings us to this really powerful, final reframing of what a programmer even is. It's not some title you earn like a diploma on a wall. It's an action. It's something you do.
According to our source, it's this simple. A programmer is someone who is actually, currently, and persistently writing programs. That's it. Not someone who could program if they wanted to, not someone who programmed 10 years ago. It's defined entirely by the action, right here, right now.
And this just cuts right to the chase, doesn't it? It's not about being able to say, oh yeah, I understand programming. Or that classic line, I could totally code if I just really tried. No, it's about being able to say, I am building something right now. That's the difference. It's potential versus practice.
So, at the end of the day, programming isn't a state of being. It's not a noun. It's a verb. It's the action. It's the ongoing, active process of showing up, facing that grind, thinking through every little detail, and just patiently building, one piece at a time. It's not about what you know, it's about what you do.
And so, the source material leaves us with this really pointed question for all of us to think about. A question that makes you look at what you're actually doing. Are you learning about programming, just watching other people solve the puzzle? Or are you actually programming? Are you in the thick of it, hands on the keyboard, doing that messy, sometimes frustrating, but ultimately amazing work of creating something yourself? Because that's what really counts.